Otra video para ti hoy. This is a video showing you how to create scenes and then add sources in OBS Studio. I'm running OBS Studio 18.0.1 64-bit version on Windows 10. The scene, let me explain quickly. So on the left hand side is the scene that you're working on. It could be a blank screen, or I could pick the camera, but this isn't live. The one with OBS Studio, I think by default, and let me go back and choose the display. Okay, so by default I think OBS Studio has the studio mode not enabled, so you're only going to see the screen that's getting captured, that's getting recorded. Click on studio mode. The left hand side is the scene that you're working on. You have to transition to make that scene live. So then we'll go back and I'll just show you quickly. Camera and web browser. Okay, so as you can see on the right hand side, that's what's going to get recorded in this video. But I want to show you how to set up scenes and sources. So we'll go back and we'll click on display, transition. Now, okay, so now you can see what I'm working on. So I'm going to add on the left hand side you have scenes and then sources, the mixer. Now to create a new scene, click on the plus to add a new scene, and we'll just name it. You might want to name it something different, so if you have multiple scenes you might start getting confused like I do, so you might want to name it something different so that you don't get confused. So we'll name it Droid Cam, which I have a Droid Cam running, and Firefox. That just reminds me that that scene has both my Android as the camera and then the Firefox web browser. So we'll click OK there. Now it's blank because I haven't added any sources, and I already let me delete that one so I don't get confused. Alright, so there's that one. Now go click into the sources, click on the plus sign to add one. You can add an audio input capture, audio output capture, browser source. A browser source allows you to add just one URL. It will only screen capture the website you choose, like let's say anetcomputers.com or whatever. It'll just screen capture that. Color source, display source, game capture if you're a gamer, image, an image slideshow, Intel RealSense 3D camera, green screen, a media source, which could be like a video file, a video that you already made, a scene, a text, a VLC. VLC video source allows you to add in videos that you already made, and it will loop them. It'll just replay them over and over and over again. Video capture device, a window capture, like let's say a web browser or a program, which is what we're going to add. And then also deprecated. So let's add in the video capture device. We will add in my Droid Cam. I already have the C920, I don't want to add that one. So click OK, make source visible so that you can obviously see it. Now we're going to choose in the drop down arrow the web camera that or camcorder that you want to use. So Droid Cam source 3 is it, and it's right there. And then I don't mess with any of these settings, but it depends on your camera and whether or not there's additional properties that you can change. Like my Logitech 920, there's some properties I can change, but this one, as you can see, there's not much I can change, so I don't even mess with them. And then I don't mess with any of these settings. Click OK. Now it's added. Now the scene on the left is not live, meaning it's not being recorded yet. If I were to just that scene, just the camera is not going to get screen captured yet. I'd have to hit the transition, then it gets screen captured. What's on the right is live. When you live stream, that's what gets live streamed to the internet. Or if you're recording, that's what gets recorded. So let me go back and choose display so you can see what I'm working on. Okay. Sorry for the camera. I just quickly set up a webcam, my Android as a webcam or camera, so you know what I'm saying. Okay, so now we're going to add another source, which is a web browser. And you hit plus to add, and then choose the window capture, and I'm going to name it Firefox so I don't confuse myself. And then I'm going to pick which window. Now, if you only have one web browser open, it's going to only, that will be the only one available. But I have more than one. I have Chrome running, but I also have Firefox. So I'm going to choose Firefox, and there it is. So click OK. By default, it chooses capture cursor. You can turn that off, and it won't capture the cursor when you record. But I like to have the cursor captured. I'm not sure what multi-adapter compatibility means. Click OK. Now on the left-hand side, now you have to move the sources because the Firefox is being captured on top of the video camera. So click on your camera or camcorder or webcam and hit move up. Now it's on top. Now in order to change, you can move this, but it's locked. So by default, OBS Studio locks the scenes. Right click it and uncheck lock preview, and then you notice how it's red now. That's whatever is red is what's selected that you can edit. Now just hold down your left mouse button and you can move it. And another thing you can do is you can resize it. If you notice at the bottom the web browser is cut off a little bit, you can align it. You can flush. Also, if you click on the corner or the circles, you can move it. Like if you can move it up and down, or you know what I'm saying. So what I want to do is I want to resize it this way so it kind of sits. Whoops. So it kind of sits, and then what I do is I go to, I'll just open a blog post. You can change the size, but I kind of like to line it up so it's flush with the right here. So I'm going to go back here and maximize it, and so it's just kind of flush there. Alright, and then if you click off of it, then the whatever else is in your scene, unless it's just one. Let me move it a little bit. Okay, now I just click off of it. Now the web browser is selected, but I don't want to mess with that. Now you right click in the source window and click on lock preview, and there. Now as you can see, I can't do anything with it. It's there permanently. Now in order for me to capture this new scene, the new scene with two sources, you can add as many sources I think as you want. Now the one thing I've noticed is that, let me transition to show you now that our new scene will get recorded, and there it is. So you just created your first scene with your first two sources. So if you just want to screen capture the web browser, whatever and then also your camera, that's it. And then the one thing I noticed is that if you click to the top at the scenes, and then there's a new scene, but you have to hit transition. If you hit transition once, there we go. Now I'm on my C920. However, if you hit transition again, it goes to the second one, but it only goes through the first two. I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if that's a bug or if that's just a limitation with OBS Studio. So what you have to do is click on the scene you want and then click transition, and you can only transition between two. Like, I'll show you it again. See, it only transitions through those two. So you just be aware of that when you're on a live stream or you're recording video, you just remember that only two scenes will get cycled if you keep clicking on transition. So let's go back, and then there's VLC. Let's go back down to DroidCam and Firefox. So we'll transition to that, and it's already there, but you know. And then as you notice, it doesn't go to the top. So what so there's that transition, and then I just select the one I want, and then I hit transition. And there you go. So we can go back down to this one, and you can add in another camera. I think you can have two cameras. Here, I'll show you that really quick. I'll just add the C920. And as you can see, this is a live cam. I'll put my hand in front of it. Yeah. Okay. So we'll just add in my Logitech C920 as a video capture device, and we'll just name it that. I'm going to end up deleting it. And in order to add an existing camera that you already have added, click add existing, and then we'll just select that. Now we'll have two, and again it's locked, so unlock it and then you can move it. So you can have 2 cameras. Well, I don't know if there's any limitations. I've never tried. If you can have 2 cameras, I'm assuming you can have, you know, more than 2. So there you go. So I've got 2 cameras. And then right click, select lock preview so that you don't change it and mess it up. Then you click transition, and that's what's going to get screen captured. So let me go back to display so you can see. And I don't want to make this video too long for you, but anything else that I can think of? If you want to change properties for a source, you just select it and then click the gear, or you right click it and hit properties, or you double click it. And then the Logitech, there are some settings. If you go to configure video, it's got some additional settings for me. And then I usually don't mess with these, but you can change, you can set a custom frames per second or a resolution. You can change the color, the buffering. You can change the buffering. You can flip it. You can even flip it. What else? Capture audio only. You can change what audio gets captured for the output, or you can use a custom. As you can see, I don't want my Droid Cam audio to get, you know, used, because I have a condenser mic hooked up. Anything else? Let's see, the web browser. If you go into the properties for the web browser, there's not much. There's not much. Anything else I can show you about sources? So far I only really used 2 different types of sources. Obviously some kind of a camera, webcam, and then a web browser. But you can add in, let's see if I can show you. I think that'll be another time for another day. Right now I just wanted to, you know, show you the basics of just creating a new scene and then, you know, adding new sources. And then in the future, maybe I'll make separate videos about, you know, how, I think in the future I'll show you how to add a VLC video source and how to do that. And maybe how to add, you know, a program. Let's say you want to screen capture Adobe PDF reader for your audience. They can see the PDF document you're reading from or that you're working on or whatever. But I'm not a gamer, so OBS Studio, that's my video showing you how to add a scene and add sources, and then we can even transition once again. And there you go. That's what should be recorded, and then we can transition back to the display. I hope this video was productive. Adios.